Hello there and welcome to the Card Grotto. Today I'm using the Eclipse technique to add interest to my clean and simple card using products from Altenew. So let's get started. I'm using the Twin Blooms stamp set for my base layer of my card, that really beautiful large bloom there at the top. I'm using the coordinating stencils to colour it in, and then I'm using the Ornate tags die set for the Eclipse technique. So I'm just going to start off by stamping my image onto my panel of cardstock here. That's a panel of classic Crest £110 solar white cardstock, cut to 4 1/4 inches by 5.5 inches. I've placed it down onto my stamp wheel, and that sticky mat is going to hold it in place while I do the stamping on top. I can then place my image on top of the panel. Once I'm happy with the placement, I can pop the top flip plate of the stamp wheel on top to pick up that stamp. I can then flip it over and ink up my stamp using Obsidian Pigment ink. This is a really nice dark crisp black ink. This is quite a large image, so I'm just going to take my time here to ink that up. I can then flip over that plate, pop it in place on the stamp wheel base to transfer that ink onto my cardstock. So I'm just pressing that down, and I did get a really nice impression the first time, but if you've watched any of my videos before, you'll know that I do like to double stamp, especially outline images. So I am just going to go back in and re-ink that stamp, and then I can stamp that down for a second time. Again, just to make sure that I've got a really nice dark crisp outline of that ink. I do then set that aside to dry just for a couple of minutes. Because it is a pigment ink, you do need to give it that time to dry. I can then place it down onto another sticky mat. I personally like to have 2 sticky mats, one inside of the stamp wheel and then one as a separate piece that I do my ink blending on top. You absolutely don't need to do that. You can just do it inside of the stamp wheel base, or you can just take that sticky mat out and use the same one like I'm doing here as a separate piece. But I just happen to like to have 2 separate ones. So I can now bring in the Twin Blooms layering stencil set. I've placed that first stencil over the image here, and that sticky mat is going to hold that stencil in place. I do have some exposed area of cardstock here from my panel, and I am quite clumsy when it comes to card making. I tend to accidentally drop ink blending tools and things like that, so I am just going to cover up that exposed area with some memo tape just to be on the safe side, make sure that I don't get any ink where I don't want it. So just placing those down and making sure that they're well stuck down. And then I can bring in the Bubblegum Dreams Fresh Dye ink collection that I'm using for the petals. So I'm going to start off with Baby Pink. I did pick up a mini ink blending brush and then decided that this area is quite large for this first layer, so I'm bringing in my small blending brush instead. I am starting on the outside edges where that stencil area kind of meets the cardstock. I want to make sure that I don't accidentally get any of the bristles of the brush underneath that stencil, which is quite easy to do if it's not stuck down well enough. So I like to go in from the outside inwards, and for this first layer I'm just going in with a very light layer of this ink. I'm not doing any actual kind of ink blending today in terms of blending different shades together. I'm just using the stencils to do that for me. So I can then remove that memo tape and carefully lift off that stencil. And you just want to be careful here because those stencils do stick to that sticky mat really well. I do then want to clean that stencil because you've got 2 other images on this stencil piece. You don't have to, but I just like to clean in between if I can. So I can then place that next layer over the top, bring in that same memo tape. I do reuse that memo tape plenty of times. And then I can go in with the next layer of ink, which is fuchsia. And I have switched to the mini ink blending brush this time. So for this area, because there are some smaller pieces kind of cut out of this stencil here, again, I'm just being really careful to not accidentally lift up in any of those areas of stencil. And if I'm worried, I can use my fingers just to hold that stencil down as I'm doing the ink blending. But again, I tend to go in from sort of like the outside inwards. And again, I'm just doing a fairly light layer of this ink, nothing kind of in terms of ink blending like I'm making some areas darker and some lighter. Again, I'm just using the stencils to do that for me today. It's not something that I tend to do that often. I usually, even with layering stencils, still tend to add some darker areas and some lighter areas, but I just wanted there to be kind of like plain flat layers of colour for this, because I really want the focal point to be on the Eclipse technique itself. So I can just remove that stencil, and now I can go in with the flower centre, and I'm using the Golden Sunset Fresh Dye Ink collection. I started off with the Sunray colour, which is the lightest one in the collection, and then I do go in with a little bit of chamomile. In hindsight, I didn't really need to do this. I forgot that there was another layer to this piece, which I'm going to go in again, so I didn't really need to add that second colour there. I can then go in with the last layer for the petals, and for this I'm using magenta, which is the next colour in that collection. I didn't use the darkest colour in the Bubblegum Dreams collection. For the petals there are just 3 layers, but again I could have gone in with a little bit of excess ink. When I say excess, not really excess, but you know what I mean. I could have gone in with the darker colour and added a little bit more ink blending to this, but again I'm just going in with the kind of simple ink blending today. So just covering all of those areas there of the stencil. And as these inks dry, they do tend to lighten up a little bit. So if you're happy with them being the colour that they are, then just remember that they are going to lighten slightly. So you may want to go in with a couple of layers of that ink. I can now go in with the second layer of that flower centre, and this is the one that I said that I forgot about. So I'm adding that with the chamomile again. It's not going to give such a big impact because I have already got some of that shade underneath. And then for the one in the centre, again I'm going in with the chamomile first. And because this stencil layer has got the leaves on it as well, I'm just going to remove the excess ink from that stencil with a cloth. And then I can cover up that area with a little bit more memo tape. For the leaves, I'm using the Green Valley Fresh Dye Ink collection. I'm starting off with the lightest shade, which is Firefly. Again, using that mini ink blending brush, starting off kind of in this instance on the inside of those leaves and then working my way to the outside. I am kind of with these leaves going a little bit kind of darker towards where they meet the flower. It's just a habit that I've got into. So for this one, I am making them just a slightly darker there. And then I can go in with the last layer here. So for that flower centre, for this one I'm going in with Snapdragon. Again, just removing the excess ink from that stencil. And for this one I didn't feel like I needed to cover it up with the memo tape because it's further away from those green leaves. I can then go in with Grassfield ink for the second layer of those leaves. I can carefully remove that stencil, and now my image is ready to go. To remove it from the sticky mat, I'm just going to pick up the mat itself and then my panel's going to fall off. So I think that's looking really pretty. So I now want to work on the Eclipse technique. So I've got the Ornate tags die set. There are 2 sizes of tags in the set, and I have cut them from some cardstock here just to show you what they would look like if you were to use them as a standalone tag. It's really fun because you've got those 2 layers. You can use the top layer separately, which is what I'm doing today, but you can also just line them both up on top of each other. Either lay them down like here, like flat, or you can put an eyelet through that hole in the top so that they kind of move around from each other as well, which is really fun to do. So I have placed that die, the top layer of the die, onto my panel here. Just tried to kind of get it as straight in the middle as possible. I've held that down with some low tack tape and run that through my die cutting machine. I know that some of those pieces have popped out and have stuck onto my mat here, which is absolutely fine. In an ideal world, I would either like to have all of the little pieces stuck still inside the die or stuck onto my cutting mat, because I want to make sure that I keep all of those little pieces. I'm just being really careful here to remove that tag from the cardstock. And then I've got some little pieces still in that die as well. So I'm just going to set that aside. And I'm just going to line that image back up with those pieces that have stuck onto the mat. And then I can bring in my perfect picker, just lifting up that tag slightly, and then I can pop all of those little pieces out. And ideally I want them to stay in the place that they are, so kind of just pushed downwards onto that mat, so that when I go to place them back into my image, when I've added these to the card, I know where to place everything. It's just going to be a little bit easier. This technique does require some patience if you're doing a die like I am with this kind of ornate bit at the top, but you can absolutely do this with just a plain shape, and that works really nicely as well. I have done that on a few videos with circles. You can do it with word dies. All sorts of shapes really work really nicely. This one just took a little bit of extra time just because of all of those tiny little pieces, but I do really like how it turned out. I have placed the negative onto my card base, so that's a finished size of 4¼ inches by 5½ inches, and I have cut 3 more of that tag from the same classic Crest £110 solar white cardstock. I can add some liquid adhesive onto the back of this first tag. I did cut 3 layers of this tag, and then I decided that I needed an extra layer on top, so I'm going to do that afterwards, just in case you wonder why I end up putting 4 tags on the card but I only cut 3 out in the first place. So I can add that liquid glue there. I'm not being too kind of neat with that glue at the top there, because if any of the glue oozes out, it's going to be fine, because I need to add glue into all of those kind of pieces there at the top anyway. So now I can go in and add that glue into all of those little areas here. Some of them are absolutely tiny, but actually I thought that this was going to be more difficult than it ended up. It didn't end up being too bad at all. But like I say, it would be easier if it was just a simple shape. I can then place the die back on top of the image, try and sort of pop it in place as best as possible. And then I can use my perfect picker here to pop all of those pieces through, so that hopefully they're going to line up with the kind of tag there in the base. Some of them didn't line up perfectly, but I can just go back in and kind of manipulate those with that perfect picker to get them in place. And then I've got all of these pieces here that stayed on my cutting mat, so I can just pick those up one by one and place them back into the image. And this is the inlay technique. It's again one of my favourite techniques. It's really fun to do, especially if you like puzzles. This is literally like putting all of the puzzle pieces together. And you can see that when I start adding all of these pieces in, that the image kind of in the background sort of comes back to life. So just popping all of those pieces in, using both ends of the perfect picker here just to pick those up. And I think I've mentioned this before in previous videos, but when I'm making my videos, I am pretty much kind of like at arm's length. So I can't see perfectly where I am placing all of these pieces. So some of them are off just slightly, but because I'm using that liquid glue, I do have time to sort of wiggle them in place. So once I've finished here, I am going to go back in afterwards and just make sure that they're all completely straight. I do want to make sure that they're straight so that they complete that stamped image in the background here. And you can see, like I say, this is kind of coming to life here with all of these little pieces added back in. And then I've got all of those tiny weeny little pieces left on my mat here. I am just going to do that off camera because I didn't think all you would end up seeing was the back of my head otherwise. So I am going to just do that off camera with all of those little pieces. I can then add some liquid glue onto the back of the other tags here. So just starting off with the first one, I can layer that on top. For these, I really just wanted to have some dimension. When there is a solar eclipse, you have the moon going in front of the sun, and you see the sun sort of around the outside edges. So you do want some kind of layer to this. You absolutely can use foam tape, but I think especially for this kind of ornate kind of tag, I wanted to make sure that I did the layers of the cardstock. So I've added 4 tags onto that, and now I can go in and add some more liquid glue onto the back of this one here and pop that on top. And you can see then that it creates the eclipse technique. So it's kind of like you can see it but you can't see it, like something's not quite right. You can see that tag but you can't see it at the same time because you've got that floral image on top. I hope that makes sense. So I've just taken my time to line that up to make sure that all of those stamp lines perfectly match each other. I have then stamped and heat embossed a sentiment from the Twin Blooms stamp set. I've cut that into a strip and added that onto the card with an instant dimension foam tape. And then to finish off my card, I'm adding some clear iridescent stellar sequins. So just adding some dabs of liquid glue there onto my card, and then I can pick up the sequins. And I'm using my tweezers here, but you can definitely use that perfect picker as well. I go between the two sometimes. Sometimes I feel like I like using the tweezers, and sometimes I feel like I like using the perfect picker. So I can just finish off with the last 2 here at the top. So just adding that small dab of glue and popping the sequin on top. And that is the card finished for today. I think the Eclipse techniques work really well on clean and simple cards. It just adds a little bit of extra interest. And like I say, you can see it, but you can't see it at the same time, which I think is really fun. Links to the products that I used will be listed in the description bar on YouTube and also over on my blog. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.